Well, we're a little further down the road in Cades Cove, and we've come to one of my favorite old cabins. And the reason I like it is because of the way the wood has weathered and the old windows. These window panes have got curvy, wavy glass in them, which make for really cool reflections. And what I'm going to do is shoot a photograph up very close with a 17 to 35 millimeter lens. So I've got a pretty wide shot and I'm shooting at a very extreme angle. I'm not getting the sky, I'm just getting the side of the cabin and the windows. Let's make a shot or two of this and see how it turns out. We're going to stop down to about f11 to get lots of depth of field. One of the really important things about this shot is being sure that you're absolutely level. And this is a vertical shot. And on this camera, you have a vertical horizon, which tells you when the camera is level. It's often hard when you're standing on a hillside or bent over. So if you lean into a tripod like this to look in a camera, all of a sudden your sense of level is off. So having some kind of device in the camera that shows you level is really helpful. This is one of those kind of shots that is very, very dependent on all the lines converging in the right way. So we want to be careful about that. I want to emphasize again that when you're making landscape photographs, always shoot a vertical and a horizontal. You never know what the editor is going to want or what you're going to want to use. This L bracket that I use on this tripod make it very easy to reposition the camera so that you can make your vertical shot and then you can make a horizontal shot. I'm going to pop off a couple of these. I have a polarizer on the camera. Here's something that it's very easy to forget to do. Once you reorient the camera, use your polarizer again to get the kind of polarization that you want. Because remember, when it was in the vertical position, the polarizer was in a different position in terms of polarization. Well, we got a little bit of a break. The sun is just peeking through the clouds. It's not direct sun, but it's pretty bright, overcast. And it's casting some decent light on the side of this old cabin that serves as the visitor center at the Grist Mill Visitor Center area. I really like the texture, once again, of the wood, and I love the windows. And after I stood here for a few minutes, I'm going to make two shots. One of kind of the whole side of the end of the building with the tree limb sticking in it. We'll do that first. Take my glove off here and focus. I'm going to shoot at f8 at 100th of a second. Now, after I shot that picture, I really love the window to the left. And I'm going to recompose to make a photograph that just puts that window, let's move just a hair here, in the upper left-hand corner of this frame. And now it's nothing but the window and the wall. Same exposure, same light. I'm just recomposing to get a different image. Take a couple of those. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of exposure compensation, about a -3rd stop. And look at our histogram real quick. Looks good. I think we've really got something we can work with there. As you can see, there's our final shot. And it's just the composition we wanted, and the exposure has really worked itself in nicely. Can't wait to get this one in the darkroom and give it a shot, see what we can do with it. Well, we've come back full circle on Cades Cove, and we've come back to a place that we actually shot before, but we shot from on the other side of the field that we're standing in, and that was where we shot the leading lines that led your eye up to the tree. If you come a little further down the road, you can actually see John Oliver's cabin. Now, John Oliver's cabin is a long way from where I'm standing, and you might think, well, you know, you can't really get a good shot if you don't walk up to the cabin, but that's what they made telephoto lenses for. Actually, it allows me to stand in one place and shoot a lot of different compositions. I'm going to shoot several photographs from here, and I'll share them with you. But first of all, I want to get the cabin with all the mountains and the trees around it. That's the overall shot. Then I want to move in and get less trees and the cabin, and then move in as close on the cabin as I can from here. I'm going to start by taking the 70 to 300. I'm shooting at f8 because We're shooting at a great distance. I might stop down to 11 because I'd like some of this pretty brown grass in the foreground to show up in sharp focus. But I'm going to compose and shoot a few shots, zooming between the shots at different levels. Now I'm starting very wide, showing the mountains, the grass, and everything. Now I'm going to start to zoom in. I'm now getting the cabin up in the upper right-hand corner of the photograph, still concentrating on the grasses. There's a group of people that have walked up there, but actually they're kind of nice because they give us a sense of scale of, you know, what's going on in the shot. And now very easily I can turn just to the side and pick up the tree that we worked the other day. Oh, this is going to be a nice shot. I love this tree. There's actually somebody walking under it, so we've got a size perspective on it. Without a person in the frame, you wouldn't really know how tall that tree is or how big it is. So I'll keep zooming back and forth. Still got a person in the bottom of the frame. The real value to zoom lenses is that it can allow you to stand in one location where the perspective is what you want, but then do different framings. Perspective is always what you see standing in one place looking at the subject. A zoom lens can allow you to keep that same perspective, but change the frames and get different parts of the photograph in different images. This is called extraction. We talked about that before. It's taking the overall scene and then pulling out of the scene the things that you think are also interesting. Really kind of cool to stand, well, it's really cold, to stand in one place and get several images and not have to move around, move your tripod and hike around to get the different images. Pretty nice place to stand to get this shot of the John Oliver cabin.